I welcome you once again into our side talk. For some time now, I've been with Venerable Nicholas Rotich, the Archdeacon, and he's also a pastor of Anglican Church. You've been in Anglican for a while.
Yes.
And what's the difference between you being an Anglican and I am not an Anglican?
Yes.
I better use it that way.
Yes. An Anglican is, an Anglican, first of all, Anglican Church of Kenya. Yes, which is an Anglican church which has got roots in England, Church of England. Yes, and that is where it started.
Okay.
And so here in Kenya, by 1844, the Anglican Church took root. And so being an Anglican means that we do worship just like, almost like the Church of England, which means we have a liturgy which we do follow, and we do have, apart from external prayers, we do have written prayers.
Okay.
Yes, and also, secondly, apart from that liturgy, we do also have, led by bishops.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it I know we have a Presbyterian, I know we have a Methodist, Episcopal.
Yeah.
Anglican is, what's the government?
Yes, Anglican is, we normally say Anglican is episcopally led.
Okay.
And synodically governed.
Wow.
Yes, so there is a synod. Yes, so
there's
the
a
bishop
college of bishops.
Is a bishop who are leading, bishops who are leading.
Yeah.
But then also
there's a synod.
There's a synod, which is a committee that is governing.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that is good.
Yeah.
By the way, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah.
I remember you wanted to become a bishop.
Yes.
What happened? I remember.
Yes, you remember. Yes, what happened is what happened, but then it never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was in 2015, 2016. And when I plunged myself into wanting to become a bishop, we do have progression anyway. In any career, we do have progression.
Yeah.
So right from being a vicar, a parish priest, and then now I'm an archdeacon, who is in charge of a particular section of the diocese, archdeaconry. And then now the higher rank there is a bishop.
It's a bishop.
And so there was that opportunity for me to become one. Yeah. And then normally that we do have an electoral college, which do or does the same. And so maybe in their own
the
wisdom, they did not see.
Is appointed by
Yes, it has got a composition of a few congregants, and that is it's actually a few people who are in the committee. We normally call them standing committee. Yeah, a standing committee of 16 people. It's a committee in the diocese, in that synod, standing committee of synod of 16 people, and then from outside the diocese come 7, so making 23.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it that they did not like you, or the people did not like you, or you did not qualify, or it's democracy, or it is God?
Yes, maybe that question belongs to them. Maybe that question belongs to them. Whoever who is watching can as well know why. But then I do feel like that is a bygone. We can talk it over in a different context.
You got angry?
I got angry then. I got angry the way you aspire to be, and when you did not get, and then you sometimes want to find justification for that, or rationalization for that. Was it because I did not fit it? Or was it that I did not meet other people's expectations? And so there can be...
You got angry.
Or all of them, I got angry.
But now you've... what did you do with your anger? And
my
what are
anger,
you doing with
it now? Of course, many of these things, and especially many of the political issues, election issues,
all election
issues in Kenya,
or even
everywhere. In Kenya, and in Anglican Church of Kenya, yeah, then of course will not leave you the same again.
Yeah.
Of course, you learn a few lessons.
Okay.
Then now how you respond to the consequences of elections, either by winning or by losing.
Okay.
That is another thing.
Now, maybe if I may say, after the elections, you have to work with the people who are elected.
Yes.
Are you struggling with resentment? Are you struggling with submission? Are you struggling? I know it's uncomfortable, but I'm doing this. We are heading towards election.
Yes.
And I want us to see the rationale of the real fighting to be elected or to be appointed.
Yeah. Where, and especially when it comes from church, you know, like in church, when you do elections, and you know it's individual people who do elections, and when they bring in the issue of it is God who has decided. So for me is that I've also found it a bit different, a bit hard to believe. Was it God? And if it is God, well, so be it. If it's a human hand. So resentment. Sometimes you become you struggle with resentment, anger, or denial. But then over time, and time is a healer in terms of resolving that. So in terms of, I'm happy that it did not make me so much drift completely from the church, but then there were a lot of tendencies to drift from the church.
But you are not, at the moment, you are not struggling with those.
You resolve, and especially when you know, like in terms of elections, and you know it is so and so who you are relying on, and you find some sense of kind of betrayal, from
and by
colleagues.
the way, what I like about you is immediately after that period I've been with you.
Yes.
And I am a friend of your church.
Yes.
And you have not exhibited bitterness.
No.
That's the thing that I love about it. You discuss it so openly.
Yes.
I've seen you working with Bishop.
Yes.
So well, so nicely, as if you are not competing.
Yes.
I've seen you working with the election team, the local election team.
Yes, the synod.
The synod,
Yes, yes.
I have seen you walking in town as if you were never rejected in an election.
Yes.
And I like that heart.
Thank you.
And I think that's the heart that we all need.
Thank you.
Personally, I've gone through some election tests on several occasions.
Yes.
And I can tell you, it has never been easy when people don't pick on you. Whether they are having valid reason or personal reasons, it always hurts.
It takes God's grace, let me tell you. It takes God for these election issues, and especially when you know, and for me that I find solace in looking at Jesus. And saying, of course, even in rejection or even in embracing, that how do you respond? First of all, we must be Christian. Yeah, and everything. And I normally tell people, and especially in our church or any other place, that the reason why they first came to church is that they wanted to be more of Jesus. It is only in church where others are called to be one or two. Now, the challenge is when we do have church, when we run church like an organization, where you do have maybe CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and so sometimes how we do administer things about church and how we run church, how we govern church. Like when I talked about episcopally led but synodically governed. So, and now when you have maybe sometimes also personal interests overriding the church interests, Jesus' interests, hapo ndio kuna noma.
Pastor, what would make you to say God is no longer in this church?
I look at that
we have
church.
Omnipresent God, but now you understand the context.
Yes.
You can say, God is no longer in this place.
Yeah.
Even in the Old Testament, it used to be like, what would make you to say that?
Like for me is that you remember when Jesus entered into that temple and looked at what is happening, and you are dealing with business. When you are talking about business of the church, and for me is that, and of course, you may have learned from church history, and where others are talking to church fathers are talking about the visible church and the invisible church. Even within a congregation,